Hello and welcome back to ENG and my name is Bharati. Let us learn question tag in this class. You have a test at the end of this session, so observe the class carefully. What are question tags? Question tags are short questions written at the end of a statement to check whether the listener agrees with what the speaker has said. That is, question tags are used at the end of a statement in order to get a confirmation from the listener. Examples: are they, aren't they, was he. Let us see these question tags in statements. The first question: Rani is a smart girl. The question tag is, isn't she? They are sportsmen. The question tag is, aren't they? Question tags are formed from the auxiliary verbs in the given statement and the pronouns that match the subject of the main verb. If you take the examples given above, in the first statement, Rani is a smart girl, is the auxiliary verb, and so the question tag has taken isn't. Rani is a female and the pronoun of the female is she. So the question tag for the first statement is isn't. And in the second statement, they are sportsmen. Are is the auxiliary verb. The negative form of are is aren't and they is the pronoun. So the question tag is aren't they. Let us see how the pronouns are used to frame question tags. Use of pronouns to frame a question tag. For a male, use he. That is, if the subject of the sentence is a male, we use he. Like, is he, isn't he. If the subject of the statement is a female, we use she. Like, is she, isn't she. If the subject is a plural form, we use they or we. Like, do they, aren't they, won't we, should we. For animals and things, that is, if the subject is an animal or a thing, we use it. Like, is it, isn't it. If the statement begins with there, we use there. Example: is there, isn't there, are there, aren't there. Now let us see how auxiliary verbs are used to frame question tags. Use of auxiliary verbs given in the statement. Auxiliary verbs. Now the be form of verb, that is the auxiliary verbs, are is, are, was, were. The do verbs are do, does, did. The have verbs are has, have, had. Modal verbs are can, could, shall, should, will, would, may, might, must, and the semi-modal verb ought. If the auxiliary verb is am, use aren't. Example: I am a graduate. Here, am is the auxiliary verb, so aren't is the question tag verb and I is the pronoun, so the question tag is aren't I. I am a doctor. Am is the auxiliary verb, so we use aren't, and I is the pronoun, so it is aren't I. I have taught auxiliary verbs, their negative forms and contractions in the earlier videos. To refer, touch the link given in the description box. If the first part of the statement is positive, the tag verb should be negative. Let us see the examples. She will start early today, won't she? In this statement, the first part is She will start early today. This first part is positive and the auxiliary verb is will. The negative form of will is won't, so we use won't. The pronoun is she, and so the question tag is won't she. He can lift that heavy table. Here the first part is a positive statement and can is the auxiliary verb. The negative form of can is can't. He is the pronoun, so the question tag is can't he. Rita is fast in her work. The first part is a positive sentence and is the auxiliary verb and the negative form of is isn't. Rita is a female and so the pronoun is she and the question tag is isn't she. Painters are painting the gates. Here are is the auxiliary verb and the negative form is aren't. Painters is a plural form and hence we use the pronoun they and so the question tag is aren't they. Sheila has written a story. Has is the auxiliary verb. The negative form of has is hasn't. Sheila is a female and hence we use she and the question tag is hasn't she. He would be eagerly waiting. Would is the auxiliary verb. Wouldn't is its negative form and he is the pronoun used. So the question tag is wouldn't he. Hari was learning the whole day. Was is the auxiliary verb and Hari is a male and the question tag is wasn't he. We should follow traffic rules. Should is the auxiliary verb, shouldn't is the negative form and we is the pronoun and so the question tag is shouldn't we. So if the first part of the sentence is a positive sentence, the question tag should be a negative tag. Now, if the first part of the sentence is negative, the tag verb should be positive. Example, they are not strangers, are they? They are not strangers is the first part of the sentence. Here we have a negative word not and hence the statement is a negative statement. As per the rule, if the statement given is a negative one, the tag should be a positive. Are not is the auxiliary verb in the negative form and so the question tag should be a positive one, so we use are. They is the pronoun and hence the tag is are they. It will not rain today. Will not is a negative one and the positive form of will not is will. The pronoun is it and so the tag is will it. George does not know swimming. Does not is a negative auxiliary verb and the positive is does. George is a male and hence the pronoun is he and the question tag is does he. Leah was not on time. Was not is a negative word. Was is the positive, so for the tag we use was. Leah is a female and so we use she and the tag is was she. She is not punctual. Is not is negative and so the tag is which is positive. She is the pronoun used and the question tag is she. We should not disturb them. Should not is negative. Should is positive. We is the pronoun and the question tag is should we. I am not leaving today. Am not is negative. Am is positive, so we use am for the tag and I is the pronoun and so it is am I. She has not followed the rules. Has not is negative. Has is positive, so we use that has for the tag. She is the pronoun and hence the question tag is has she. Remember, if the first part of the sentence is negative, the question tag should be positive. For statement with no auxiliary verbs, there are certain statements which is in simple present tense and in simple past tense which do not have an auxiliary verb. So, what do we do when the statement does not have an auxiliary verb? If the noun or pronoun is he, she, or it, that is singular present tense, we use doesn't. Example, he runs fast. The tag is doesn't he. If the statement is she runs fast, the tag will be doesn't she. If the statement is it runs fast, the statement will be doesn't it. If the noun or pronoun is they or I or you or we, that is, if it is plural present tense, we use don't. Example, they run fast. The tag is don't they. If the statement is I run fast, the tag will be don't I. If the statement is you run fast, the tag will be don't you. And in case the statement is we run fast, the statement will be don't we. If the noun or pronoun is he, she, it, they, I, you, we, that is in singular and plural past tense, we use don't. Example, he broke the glass window. So broke is the past tense and hence we use didn't. And he is the pronoun and so we use he. And the question tag is didn't he. So if the statement has no auxiliary verbs, we use the do verbs in their negative forms. We have a few examples. Sarah writes neatly. Writes is the verb and writes is in present tense. Sarah is singular, so we use doesn't. Sarah is a female, so we use she and the tag is doesn't she. Hari reached the finishing line first. Reached is past tense, so we use didn't. Hari is a male, so we use he. The tag is didn't he. The girls arranged for a gathering. Arranged is past tense, so we use didn't. The girls is plural form, so the pronoun is they and the tag is didn't they. People run to catch the bus. Run is present tense, so we use don't because people is plural form. Because people is plural form, the pronoun is they and the tag is don't they. Suraj drives carefully. Drives is present tense, so we use doesn't. Suraj is male and so the tag is doesn't he. They collect the newspapers daily. Collect is present tense and they is plural form, so we use don't. And the tag is don't they. We undergo critical situations at time. Undergo is present tense and we is plural form, and so the tag is don't we. My parrot makes strange sounds. Makes is present tense. My parrot is singular and so we use doesn't. Since it is parrot, we use it, and the tag is doesn't it. We planted a mango sapling. Planted is past tense and so we use didn't, and we is the pronoun and the tag is didn't we. Now, when is a statement considered to be negative? What are the clue words? Negative words are no, not, never, none. Other than these, we have a few more negative words. They are barely, rarely, scarcely, hardly, seldom, few, little. He barely talks to me. Here, barely is a negative word. Talks is present tense and there is no auxiliary verb. So we use does because he is the pronoun and he is singular, and the tag is does he. She rarely skips her lunch. Rarely is used, it is a negative word. Skips is the present tense and there is no auxiliary verb. She is the pronoun which is in singular and so we use does she. They are scarcely aware of the tragedy. Here we have an auxiliary verb are. Scarcely is given and it is a negative word. They is a plural pronoun. Since it is a negative statement, we have to give a positive tag, and so the tag is are they. He could hardly recognize me. Could is the auxiliary verb. Hardly is a negative word. Since it is a negative statement, we give a positive tag. Could he? Buses seldom stop here. Seldom is negative. Stop is the verb and there is no auxiliary verb. Buses is plural and hence stop is present tense, so we use do, and buses is plural, we use they, and the tag is do they. There is little food in the kitchen. This is the auxiliary verb. Little is a negative word, and there we have to use the same there, and the tag is there. We have few minutes left. Have is the auxiliary verb, few is negative, and we is the pronoun. So the statement is do we. She never enjoys horror movies. Enjoys is the verb, never is the negative verb, and enjoys is in present tense. She is singular, so we use does she. I have no pets. Have is the main verb. No is the negative verb. I is the pronoun, and so we use do I. We did not play hide and seek. Did is the auxiliary verb. Not is the negative verb. We is the pronoun, so we use did we. If the statement begins with let, the tag question should be shall. Either the statement is positive or negative, use only shall. This is an exceptional statement. Example, let us watch the cricket match. Shall we? Let us go for a walk. Shall we? Let me tell you something. Shall I? Now you have a test. Supply a suitable question tag. You may pause your video for a while and give your answers. Well, here are the answers. I hope you enjoyed this class. If you find this video useful, kindly like and share. Please hit on the bell button and the subscribe button to receive further videos. Also drop your comments and queries down in the comment box. Thanks for watching.